You're listening to the Love Unplugged podcast, episode 77. Today on Self Saturdays, I'm chatting about how I schedule my week to ensure that I get everything I need to do done. Now, without my scheduling practice, I feel so stressed. I'm scrambled. I always miss things, whether they're personal related or work related. So I hope that my practice gives you some ideas on how you can organize your schedule to stay on top of things as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hey there, I'm your host, Jessica Fergon, and I am passionate about doing the inner work needed to reach your goals. Let me be your guide as we navigate all the fears and insecurities that surface when it's time to step outside of your comfort zone. Along with my knowledgeable guests and industry experts, I'm here to teach you how to reawaken your life purpose and passion and create the steps to turn your intentions into action. Ultimately, my goal is to empower you to rise above those blocks holding you back and start living a life that you are worthy and deserving of. So come on, it's time to slow down, find a comfy spot with your favorite organic tea, and get inspired. Thank you for tuning in to the Love Unplugged podcast. Happy Saturday morning, loves. I'm so honored to have you join me for another Self Saturdays episode. Now, today, bear with me, I am feeling somewhat mentally cloudy. I don't know if it has to do with the weather changing or what, but to help me feel a little bit more alert for this episode, I am drinking my favorite tea from Woshe Wellness, Think. Now, if you haven't had it, I definitely recommend it. I'm super sensitive to caffeine. I get the jitters very easily. And this tea, even though it is caffeinated, it's so mild that I still get the alert feeling, but I get like a sense of calm from it. So it's just enough to keep me going for the afternoon. Now, I'm also diffusing my gratitude essential oil from Sage, which I absolutely love. It smells so good. All right, so now back to the episode. So if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have a crazy schedule. I mean, Cassie from Woshe Wellness, who's my coach, she's even said looking at my schedule stresses her out big time. And yes, okay, it is a little hectic. You know, I have a full-time day job. I had a full-time night job before COVID hit. I have this blog, I have the podcast. That alone keeps me busy, but add in some R&R, some quality time with family or friends, and my schedule is packed. Now, quite a few years ago, I went with the flow. You know, I took it day by day. I didn't schedule anything really. I just, didn't even take time to really plan things out. I had no idea what my priorities are, my focus points, nothing. And how did that work out for me? Well, that was a complete nightmare. I got nothing done. I did not move forward in any way in my business. I felt like I was treading water most of the time and sometimes drowning with my commitments. I would try to fit in things and then I would need to cancel them because I didn't have time or I was just too tired. It was really overwhelming for me. So I had to do something to change. Things were just not working out. I had to figure out a system that would work for me. So what I realized is that scheduling is actually part of my self-love practice. Now, everybody's self-love practice is different and includes different things based on their needs. And scheduling, because of my hectic schedule, scheduling is part of my self-love practice. It's something that I do for myself to help me prioritize things that are most important to me, to keep my non-negotiables in place, and to never double book myself or to add too much to my plate that I just can't handle. It helps me stay focused on what I need to get done, and it is one thing less that I need to worry about or stress about because it's scheduled. I don't have to have it sitting in my mind kind of going, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? I already have it planned out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through my process, and maybe something will appeal to you and help you in your own scheduling practice as well. So the very first thing is I determine my priorities. And how I do this is I completed my to-be vision, which determines what I want my future to look like. And from that, I determine what my goals are and what I need to focus on in order to achieve those goals. So right now, my goals are in the categories of physical health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health. I have my business, and then I have love. So love is in terms of my relationships. Now I'm keeping this super high level. I don't want to give you guys a whole in-depth view into my goals and my action plans and all that stuff. So bear with me. I am keeping it high level for you. From there, I determine what I need to focus on in each of those categories. So for health, I want to have my morning and evening routines set. I want to make sure that I'm sticking to them. I want to make sure that I'm eating proper meals and I'm eating healthy. I want to make sure that I'm including movement every day, because that is the first thing that I skip out on if I don't have it scheduled in. I'm being honest here. I always try to avoid that if I can. Now I want to work on education as well. So this is for my kind of mental wellness, my emotional wellness, spirituality as well. Then I have the business, which includes my blog, my love letters, which is my email list, my one-on-one coaching, Love Unplugged, which is the podcast, and social media. And then I have love relationships. So that's just being there with family and friends, spending quality time with them, working on those relationships, making sure that I'm nurturing them and giving them the quality time that they deserve. Now, reminder, I am going high level here. You can always get way more specific if you want. So next comes planning out my week. So I create a spreadsheet at first before I put anything into my calendar. I plan out what I want my weeks to look like. So I create a spreadsheet with Monday to Sunday in the separate columns. And then I have the time of day going down one side in each row. So column 2, because my column 1 will be the times. So column 2 will be Monday, column 3 will be Wednesday or Tuesday, column 3 and so on will be the next days. And then because I start my routines at 6 a.m., that's the very first time slot that I'm going to have. So it starts at 6 and then I work all the way down to 9 p.m. because that's when I do my evening routine. And then I insert my non-negotiables. So for me, my morning routine is scheduled at 6 a.m. Monday to Friday, and then it starts at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, so I have an extra hour of sleep. But that is my non-negotiable. I need to do that for myself. I think that's super important, sets my day up for success. I feel so much better when I actually follow through with it, so it's a non-negotiable for me. Now, my day job obviously is set, so I have no wiggle room there. It is what it is, and I have to schedule it in. So my day job is scheduled from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, but because I have every second Friday off, I created 2 columns for Fridays where I have my Friday on and my Friday off, so I can plan out what that looks like when I am working on Friday and when I'm off on Friday. Then I schedule my evening routine, which starts at 9 p.m. every night, Monday to Sunday. My next priority is movement. I need to schedule in movement. And since I'm not a morning workout person, I've tried it before. I just don't like it. I kind of like getting my day started pretty quick because I work best in the mornings. That's my most mental alert time. So I definitely want to focus on tasks early in the morning as soon as I can. So I schedule it for 4 p.m. when I'm done my day job, Monday to Friday, and I make it at 4 p.m. so that I can just jump straight into that, clear my head from the day, and kind of de-stress and get into a whole reset and whatnot before I start my evening tasks. And I really find that this helps me because if I scheduled it later on, I tend to like to focus for longer lengths of time on tasks. I don't like to have breaks in between. So I find that I just need to get the movement done so that I have a long stretch in the evening to focus. Now, my next priority is downtime because I don't want to burn out again, right? I've had a nasty burnout. It took me a long time to recover from it. So it's very important for me to, even though I have a schedule the way that I do, to insert some downtime so that I am resting. So I schedule downtime Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturdays starting from 12 p.m. onwards. And then I look at the business tasks. So what I want to work on throughout the week. And my method is to time block and then batch work on the types of things that I want to work on. So Mondays I dedicate to working on my love letters. Wednesday evenings I dedicate to publishing my Thursday episode and anything else that I missed from Monday's work session. Fridays are dedicated solely to podcast. And then Saturday late morning, so after my morning routine on Saturday and taking a little bit of me time there, and then all of Sunday are dedicated to working on the business as a whole. Then, because I want to be more consistent in posting to social media, I have added in tasks where I want to post to my feed and when I want to post to stories. So at 8 a.m. and then 7 p.m. And I schedule those in as well as reminders that I need to get that done. Now, the next thing that I do is I schedule time to check my inbox, my emails, to reply to them and whatnot. I definitely try to avoid jumping into my inbox whenever emails come up or first thing in the morning because they are not your to-do list. They are everybody else's to-do list. And I want to make sure that I'm using the time when I'm most alert and ready to go and, really energetic about, accomplishing some things in my business and whatnot, or doing other things. I'm not getting distracted by other people's to-dos. So I always leave that for end of day when I'm done. I have about 30 minutes or so to go through my inbox, to answer emails, to get everything cleaned up. Then I color code all the different tasks so I can visually see the patterns. So, for example, all of my movement appointments or scheduled appointments are green. Podcast tasks are yellow, and so on. And then the last step is to create my focus sheets. So what I mean by this is in my calendar, when I'm scheduling all these things, I'm not putting down in the sections that I've time blocked for podcast what exactly I'm focusing on when I say podcast. I'm just dedicating those time blocks to the certain different categories that I want to focus on. And then I have different sheets, so one for each day that indicates when I say podcast, this is what I mean. So I am researching guests, I'm emailing guests, I'm editing episodes, I'm recording episodes, all those types of things related to the podcast. If I'm focusing on my email list, I'm researching freebie ideas, creating freebies, designing email templates, things like that. Whatever is related to that category, those are the different tasks that I need to work on. And then based on my action plan, then I can kind of determine what I need to focus on and what needs to be done. So that really helps me stay focused, and it helps me keep my commitments to myself, because if I don't schedule it, it doesn't get done. It's also a huge relief knowing that I have made time for the things that I want to get done. Now, if something comes up during the week that I may want to do, I need to look at my schedule and I need to see where I can fit it in. And if I can't fit it in, what am I going to sacrifice for it, and is it worth it? So this really helps me kind of stay focused on what is truly important to me, and it really helps me analyze the things that I'm making time for that maybe isn't helping me in my life or my business. So that is how I schedule things. I hope that this has given you some ideas on how you can organize your time. If you have any questions or you need help creating your schedule or your priorities, please connect with me. I would love to support you guys. So that wraps up another Self Saturdays episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on these episodes. Are you liking them? Are there certain topics that you want to hear from me on? I definitely want to know, so connect with me, reach out, share your thoughts. You can do this by either leaving a review on the episode, or you can head over to my Instagram. My handle is @ProjectLoveCo. Send me a DM. You can also connect with me through my website, www.projectloveco.com. Sign up for my love letters where you'll receive my best advice, practices, tools that I used to change my journey of self-discovery. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and I hope you guys take some time to invest in yourselves today. I'm Jessica, and thanks for tuning in today to Love Unplugged, the podcast. If there are any questions or topics you'd love answered on the show, head on over to www.projectloveco.com and share your request with me. If you haven't yet, go to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and share it with a loved one. Your feedback means the world to me, and the community we've created is what fuels our discussions here. After all, this is all for you. Join me next time for another unplugged conversation.